My name is Michael Regan. I've been a journalist in Connecticut for 35 years, and I'm going to be editor of the Connecticut Mirror.
I'm Mark Pazniokis, and I'm the Capitol Bureau Chief for the Connecticut Mirror.
My name's Jacqueline Rabe, and I'm going to be covering Connecticut politics at the state capitol.
My name is Bob Fromm. My position with the Mirror will be essentially to cover education.
I'm Jim Cutie, and I joined the Connecticut News Project on November 2nd as the Chief Operating Officer.
News coverage at the state capitol has diminished markedly in the last several years, going from maybe a couple of dozen reporters from newspapers all across the state to 6 or 7 right now.
Exposing what government does to the light of day is really important, not only to keep government honest, but I think to give the public a real sense of how their democracy works.
The Connecticut News Project and the CT Mirror, the website, is really meant to be a complement to the existing news media.
We're striving for depth, context, insight, more explanatory, analytical journalism than is generally available right now.
The Mirror is going to be a window into state government and politics. The goal of our site is to bring transparency and accountability to government.
It's for readers who really want to have that whole perspective, the whole spectrum of how things became actual legislation, how it became law. And we plan to provide that so that you don't have to click on 10 different sites to get the whole perspective.
What state government does touches everybody. And state government right now has more responsibility and more problems in front of it than at any time in the 35 years I've been a journalist in Connecticut.
Most legislators are on someone's payroll. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it's designed. But that's something that should be easily gettable by our readers.
Millions of dollars are being spent, and taxpayers do want to know where their money is going, and they do want to see those stories, and they do want to see how their representatives or their senators are voting on different subjects that does ultimately affect them and how their community is run.
Schools affect not just the 500,000 students who attend them in Connecticut, even those folks who don't have children or grandchildren in schools wind up interested in them because they pay for them. It's usually the largest portion of local taxes goes to funding public schools.
This is the time when we really need to be paying attention to what's happening in Hartford.
The issues that come up at the Capitol affect people every day. It affects your pocketbook, it affects your taxes, it affects the resources in your kids' schools, it affects the environment, it affects the quality of your commute to work as far as transportation policy.
There's 3.5 million people who live in Connecticut across 8 counties. And we want to reach them whether they're in urban areas, suburban areas, or rural areas, because what that content represents is information, need to have information, not nice to have, but need to have information.